Today I'm sharing 15 ways that I am reworking my spring finances at home and a little sneak peek of some of the projects that I have going on behind the scenes. Stay tuned to find out all about it. Hello everyone, my name is Misty Nicole with LadyPrefersToSave.com, and today I am sharing 15 ways that I am spring cleaning my finances at home. I am super excited about this video because these are going to be small, very intentional ways that I am reworking my budget at home. All of this is, of course, part of my 2018 No Spend Challenge, to which I am almost at $5,000 in savings, of which I am uber excited about, and I hope that these tips will be able to help you this coming season as well. So let's get started. The first way at home that I am working on my finances this coming season is by being more intentional with using cash. And the reason that I have decided to do this is because for the past few years, despite already being debt-free, I know that when I started using rewards on a card or a debit card that I was actually spending more than I normally would have. We have a weekly grocery budget of $65, and since going plant-based and kind of utilizing a little bit of plastic, we have definitely not always in the past kept to those parameters, and so I want to be a lot more intentional about this pursuit. The second way that I will be saving money this spring season is to be more intentional with the plastic that I do use. If I'm getting points, they need to be allocated to a specific fund. If I am saving for expenses for travel for business or to go to a blogging conference, I'm really going to decide before I start traveling what I will do with those funds that are saved once they come back in, as well as to know when they're going to come back in, to make sure that I am putting those right back into another fund and not just letting things accumulate, because in the past, because of blackout dates or family emergencies that have come up, I have often let those rewards kind of go by the wayside and they were lost, and so needless overspending. The third thing that I'm going to be doing is switching to free checking and savings accounts, and I will be looking online for some new savings accounts because two of my online savings accounts are no longer free, one of which I pay $7 a month and the other I pay now $15 a month to have those accounts. And so that's a savings cumulatively of $72 for one account and $180 on the other. And those totals combined is a month's worth of groceries. The fourth way that I will be saving this spring is by looking at how I can save on my cable and phone bill at home. After all, it's been a minute since I really checked to see how much I was paying for all of those services. And as we all know, cable companies can be sneaky and they can charge you for rates that you may not even be aware that you're paying. I really recommend you calling your cable provider to see if there's any new promotions or discounts that you can take advantage of. Even simple things like enrolling in auto pay or paperless billing can save you $5–10 a month, and those savings really add up. As far as your phone goes, the majority of us really do pay for more data than we actually use, so I really recommend that you go to the site Anavo Project, and that will be a link that I'll put in the description bar below. But it's a site, it's also a mobile app that will let you see your overall usage in your house, and this is really vital information when you're calling your company's retention department. Unless you really know what tier you need to be at and how much data you're using, it's really hard to negotiate when companies are throwing package deals at you and you're not really sure what you need to be using. So it's a great service to have in mind. The sixth way that I will be saving this coming season is by resisting the urge to get takeout. Listen, I know that this is a big thing for a lot of people. It was for me for many, many years. When I worked in a corporate setting, we ordered out lunch nearly every day. And lately, I've kind of been tempted to do the same. I've been really tempted to just order out and not really worry about the meal prepping and the meal planning and give myself permission to do that. But I'm trying to stay on top of things and really not go that route, not just in terms of my success with the Body Boss method, but I really want to be more intentional with the meal prepping and the meal planning that I'm doing at home. As well, for me, even as someone who works from home, I want to be more intentional in packing my own lunch and making sure that I'm taking care of my needs that way. I know that this saves my family hundreds of dollars a month, and it really helps me to also be more minimal in the ingredients that I'm serving to my family. One of the ways I'm going to do this is by serving more meals with one ingredient themes. For example, instead of buying a soup mix to make broccoli and cheese soup, I would have to buy fresh broccoli, utilize nutritional yeast that I always have on hand, and buying Dia, for example, in lieu of buying something that's processed. The seventh way that I will be saving this coming spring at home is that I am starting a fun fund for myself. Guys, I'm super excited about this because I know that a lot of people, when they think of not spending, they immediately go to deprivation. They think more about what they can't have than what you can actually open up parameters to have. It's less about the awesome freebies and more about what they can't have that they see everyone else having. What I'm going to do is make a list, add it to my bullet journal, and things that I really am just absolutely in love this year, I'm going to write them down and I'm going to attempt to set funds aside for those. And then I'm going to go into my Google Calendar, and each season I'm going to set up a few minutes just to have a coffee date with myself, look back over that list and make sure those are still things that I really want. And then in 2018, I am going to set up for not just myself, but for the other two amazing humans that live with me. The eighth thing that I'm doing to up my savings this coming spring is to shop my closet. Now, as you may know, I already do utilize capsule wardrobes for the clothing that I need when I go into the community, such as running errands or the volunteer work that I do and work that I still do from time to time in the legal capacity. For those pursuits, I still have some suits and some nicer clothes for that. Now, for the everyday, I'm going to change some stuff up. I'm going to change how I'm doing my capsule wardrobes. I really want to be more intentional and utilize clothing that is specific to my current pursuits. And in the same vein, the ninth way that I'll be saving this spring is by selling some of those unused wares online. I'm looking to turn that clutter into cash. I'm looking to sell the things that I'm not using and get uber specific with the things that I have at home. My 10th tip is I am, again, so super excited that I have ditched the gym and will be using spring as an excuse to get outside and really rework my health. The 11th way that I will be saving this spring is by renegotiating a raise for myself. Do you think that you deserve more on your paycheck? It's probably because you do. And consider that quarter one is going to end on the 31st of this month, which means that now is the perfect time to schedule some one-on-one time with your boss and to demonstrate how much value you're bringing to your company. And that goes double if you're an influencer. If you're an influencer, there's a few things that I would really recommend you doing this season, and these are the things that I myself will be doing. I want to be more intentional with pitching more companies. I'm going to set aside 2 afternoons a week for an hour each to make sure that everything is up to date on my media kit, my about section on my blog, as well as to just pitch. I also want to make a point of no longer advertising for free. Now, I know this might be controversial to a lot of people, especially on YouTube, but hear me out. Did you know that the average influencer company gets paid upwards of 5 to 6 figures to send out the samples that you are advertising for free on your site? And that every time you post a picture on your Facebook or your Instagram channel, for example, a free razor or a granola bar or a mascara wand, that company is potentially getting paid hundreds of dollars by a parent company each time that you are posting promotions for people that potentially go into the stores to pay for products. Then consider if you're a YouTuber, even for a small YouTuber like me. Let's say that you're getting a free mail order subscription to, say, a cleaning kit or a mail food delivery service, and let's say that the average kit costs around $60. You may think that this is great for exposure for your channel, but do consider this. Even the smallest of bloggers often make anywhere from $50 to $150 just to put up an image on their social media channel. And that's because the average media company gets paid $2,500 an hour to edit, upload, and create content for their sites. And let's say that you ask for $60 an hour to make your products, which the average blogger could potentially make. But what about all that you're doing on YouTube? Consider the video creation, editing, advertising, the follow-up work that goes into your videos. If this work took you longer than 1 hour to make, you've actually lost money. I also want to make a point of no longer advertising for free. I'm at a point that I no longer really want to put all of my time and energy into subscription boxes, meal planning, and samples on my sites. Now, I know this might be controversial to a lot of people, especially on YouTube, but hear me out. Did you know that the average influencer company gets paid upwards of 5 to 6 figures to send out the samples that you are advertising for free on your site? And that every time you post a picture on your Facebook or your Instagram channel, for example, a free razor or a granola bar or a mascara wand, that company is potentially getting paid hundreds of dollars by a parent company each time that you are posting promotions for people that potentially go into the stores to pay for products that you have to film and edit and promote and then reallocate time into going back to the company that you received your samples from and to give them copies of all of your hard work in exchange for a $5, $10, $15 product. It just seems like a whole lot of work for the return investment that you're getting. Then consider if you're a YouTuber, even for a small YouTuber like me. Let's say that you're getting a free mail order subscription to, say, a cleaning kit or a mail food delivery service, and let's say that the average kit costs around $60. You may think that this is great for exposure for your channel, but do consider this. Even the smallest of bloggers often make anywhere from $50 to $150 just to put up an image on their social media channels. And if you're a YouTuber and you're doing more work for just that simple product, you really haven't made that much in return. And that's because the average media company gets paid $2,500 an hour to edit, upload, and create content for their sites. And let's say that you asked for $60 an hour to make your products, which the average blogger could potentially make. But what about all that you're doing on YouTube? Consider the video creation, editing, advertising, the follow-up work that goes into your videos. If this work took you longer than 1 hour to make, you've actually lost money. And moreover, no matter how many subs or follows you get, that is not a return to your investment because as we know, every time you upload a video, those numbers are going to fluctuate. For me this spring, I really want to be more intentional with the work that I'm producing on all of my outlets. I really want to be considerate and cognizant of my own time, in so much that products, exposure, and the potential for affiliate sales are no longer going to be acceptable forms of payment for me. I really want to be compensated for the work that I do. I want to be compensated for the time that I put into all of these outlets, because after all, the greatest resource that you have is your time, and it's the only variable that you'll never be able to get back. After all, you and I are worth more than that. We're worth more than the pittance of a few samples, because you best believe that all of these agencies, before you receive the survey to see if you qualify for their latest and greatest, they have already gotten paid. I'm going to take that knowledge and really wrap it into a new mantra for this coming season. And my mantra will be this: I'm going to ask for more, because the worst that they can say is no, but the worst that I can do is to not ask at all. The 12th way that I'll be saving this spring is with money tracking apps. Move over Snapchat and Vero. It is all about money tracking apps this season. I will personally be utilizing the Mint app and the Every Dollar app from Dave Ramsey so that I can be more intentional in where my money is going, especially considering my no spend challenge. I also know that even the savviest of savers can still have hemorrhages in their savings and financial goals, and so I'm really trying to curtail all of that, and I will be using those apps to make sure that that happens this spring. The 13th way that I will be saving this spring is by changing the last few medications that I have to generics. 14th way I'll be saving this spring is by having my air conditioning system at home checked on. Because as you know, it's March and 'tis almost the season to have those air conditioners cranked 24/7, especially here in the Deep South. It is a necessity that we need, and so we stay on top of that. And we're not really alone, because according to the U.S. Department of Energy, a whopping $29 billion is spent a year on people in the United States just on air conditioning costs. And as you know, a lot of those costs are overinflated by things like dirty ductwork, dirty filters, unsealed windows. So definitely take the time to go around your house and see what you can repair in terms of DIY weekend warrior task yourself. And for things that you can't take care of, go online to your local service companies and see if there's any online coupons that you can utilize for those services this time of year. And last but not least, I will also be making an intentional choice to shop more locally this spring. I love spring. I love everything about it. Well, maybe not the allergies, but generally everything about spring, especially my local farmers market, which is open the first Saturday of each month through November, and I make a point to be there, cash in hand, canvas bag clad, and ready to make some deals. I want to make sure that I'm buying local, fresh produce, that anything that I need that is locally sourced is purchased there first before going to mass retail. I also want to make a point of patronizing businesses that support causes and movements that are very near and dear to my heart. I've already started making a list of businesses that continue to support groups that I believe in, and making lists to not patronize businesses that support groups and movements that I don't support at home. I'm also going to be sure to add a few bookmarks to my phone for my travels this spring. I want to make sure that I'm checking out Cruelty Bunny online and fairtrade.org to make sure that all my purchases are compliant with my particular belief system. This includes rights for international workers too. I want to make sure that I'm really utilizing that fairtrade.org bookmark on my phone to make sure that the coffee and chocolate and specialty goods that I purchase are going back to those farmers. I want to make sure that local communities are getting represented and that these wonderful, beautiful human beings are getting paid a fair living wage for their work. It's no less than I would expect for myself or my family. And so everyone, those are the 15 financial steps I am taking this spring to deep clean my finances. And now, as I mentioned before in the beginning of the video, I want to take you into my kitchen to give you a little update of how I am minimizing my kitchen space on a budget. Okay, so as you can see, I went with a white and have been in the process of putting several coats up in the kitchen and on the trim work and the cabinets. And we have plastered walls, so I mean, they're never going to look exactly perfect, but trying to get as close as I can. And making sure that all the countertops were cleared off, and a crock pot with some of my friend Melissa's wonderful Moroccan soup, and my husband's piece of artwork from Korea that he needs to take down and put somewhere. And outside our windows, I am looking at some cordless shade options for the kitchen. Not sure what I'm going to do with that yet, but as you can see, it has really lightened everything up. And this past weekend, I put in this new shutter system, which is basically 2 upcycled shutters, painted them, refinished them, painted the ductwork, installed a new fire extinguisher, repainted all the cabinets, and hey, Sassy. And here, I repainted the pantry white. I have to go back over it because, number one, in moving out the major appliances, it pulled some of the paint off the cabinet, and my husband did not finish putting the primer on the top of the cabinet, so he's going to have to redo that and finish with some of the caulking around the pantry. But I'm really liking overall the white compared to the gray that was in here. It really just brightened everything up. And so everyone, that is what I have been doing in the kitchen. As you'll notice, the appliances have been removed, and that's because they are being ordered. I went ahead and used Sherwin-Williams again for the paint, this time in the Polar Bear Glaze. Super excited about this shade of white. It's a little bit cooler than I originally had anticipated going with, but I love it. It covered up the previous light Tuscan gray that I had in the kitchen and the darker gray in my dining room, and I absolutely love how it's turning out. As you'll notice, the appliances still haven't come in. They will be coming in, so now was the right time to get all the last of the repairs done including the painting of the pantry and the cabinets and all that fun stuff too. We're also going to go in and regrout part of the tile on the kitchen floor, and when everything's done, I will do a minimalist tour of the kitchen. And if you'd like to see some more behind the scenes stuff going on before we get to that tour, leave me a comment below and I will film some more for next week. With that said, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm just super excited about the changes going on in terms of finance and my home this spring. I am excited to get back out and get a little bit more in terms of working out. I'm having a lot less hip pain, still some of the back pain, but feeling a little bit better than I have been over the past couple weeks, of which I am incredibly blessed to be able to report that. Now, with all that said, I hope that this video has served its purpose and you will get some fun information from it. Again, thank you for watching. I'd love it if you'd hit that little red subscribe button, turn on notifications, give this video a thumbs up, and leave me a comment below and let me know how you are saving this coming season, if you're making any changes for the quarter ahead in terms of your business, or if you have any fun home projects or minimalism or moves or anything going on. I would definitely love to hear about that. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please be kind to yourself and to others, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks.